we have an ongoing war with all state teams. In the sense that
mostly just the AP.
Mostly just the AP. So Texas high school football puts out there's a number of organizations that put out all-state teams. I know that our friend Carl Padilla puts out his own all-state team. The AP puts out a notoriously bad all-state team. The gold standard for Texas high school football all-state teams is the TSWA, the Texas Sports Writers Association. It's sponsored by Collins Street Bakery. It seems like it's been sponsored by them forever too. That must be like a deal.
We should
They're
go
like,
check out that bakery.
We really should. Anyway, point is the TSWA is the it's the gold standard. It's why we put it in our magazine. That if you go back to the state champions here, see if I can pull it up quickly.
It is the one we use as
it's the one we
referential.
Use. Correct.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing our recaps, right here. This is the TSWA because it is the best one. It is the best. It is the most thoughtful. It is the one that I trust. It's also the one that genuinely falls in line with the thoughts that I have as far as Texas high school football is concerned. And so they put out, and they always, one of the things I also like is that they wait. They don't rush it out. Like, for example, the AP comes out before the state championship games, which is insane because they don't count playoff performances. Yeah. And now I have my issues with the TSWA All-State team. Particularly that they don't divide 4A, 3A, and 2A into divisions.
Right.
Bothers me, but okay, that's fine. In any case, they put out their all-state team recently, and you can find them all. We'll post them on the site at texasfootball.com. But basically, rolling through these, I didn't really have a ton of issues.
Right.
Overall, I think they did a pretty good job. And all eyes are going to be on the skill position guys, right? The skill position guys are the headliners here. In 6A, the quarterback, Charlie Brewer.
Yep.
A couple other guys you can make an argument for, but I think Charlie Brewer probably the best quarterback in the state. Got no issue with that. Running backs. I love this group of running backs.
I know you do.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw the names and I was like, okay.
Kennedy Brooks.
Yeah.
I don't think no reasonable person can argue against Kennedy Brooks as a first-team All-State guy.
Yeah.
Traylon Smith, the running back from Cy Ridge.
Yep.
A guy who put up big-time numbers. I know that his team wasn't all that great, but he was the bell cow for that team. And then Josh Fields from El Paso Americas.
Yeah.
Great job.
Nice deep cut.
Great job.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic first-teamer. And then in the wide receivers, boy, that's a throwback to an bygone era. They still call them split ends.
That's awesome.
Which is amazing. Charleston Rambo from Cedar Hill, no issue with that.
No.
O'Shea Clark, another Cy kid, Cy Springs.
No.
O'Shea Clark put up big numbers. Kashawn Carter from the Woodlands. Interesting. There's a couple guys on there that I think maybe could have been bumped up there, especially Eric Injukanma from Keller Timber Creek. Maybe a guy on the third team. They have Sam Crawford from Rockwall. They have Adam West from San Angelo Central. I would have found a way to probably put Adam West on that first team, but that's just me. Overall, the 6A is pretty good. One guy who I think is and I got somebody brought it up to me that Austin Hiller, the defensive back for Lake Travis.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
I know it's a tough year. You got to find a way to put him on there. I thought he was a top 5 defensive player in the state in 6A. We'll roll through a couple others. The in 5A, I think they did a fantastic job. They put Damon Williams from Saginaw Boswell on the first team, which I thought was really fantastic. And they also put Deion Hankins from El Paso Parkland as first team running back.
Yeah.
First team quarterback was Dylan Davis from Aledo. I guess if you win the state championship, you get that extra bump. I thought Dylan Davis was pretty good, and he deserves to be on an all-state team.
Yeah.
I would have gone with maybe somebody like Alex Rammert from Richmond Foster, or maybe Bailey Zappi from Victoria East.
Guys with maybe fewer weapons but put up bigger numbers,
something like that. But I can't really.
It's hard to argue.
They also named. Here's an interesting point. Their 5A Offensive Player of the Year, Cedarian Lamb from Richmond Foster. That's I think there was going to be a lot of people who would be like, why don't you give it to a running back or a quarterback? Cedarian Lamb was the most dominant player in 5A.
The way he finished too was pretty epic.
And their defensive player of the year from Mansfield Legacy, Jalen Catalan, just a sophomore. To be named a sophomore, it's pretty impressive. 4A, their offensive player of the year, it was tied between our boy Jack Dallas and Keontae Ingram from Carthage. I don't have a whole lot of issue with either of those. Their defensive player of the year, unsurprisingly, Barrett Browning from Kennedale. In 3A, their offensive player of the year was Jeremiah Crawford from Mineola. No issues with that. No. If you were going to go with another guy, I think you would have been stretching. Maybe you go with a guy like Michael Everett, but I also understand that
not as much success.
Exactly right. Defensive player of the year from the Canadian Wildcats, they go with Holton Huffstetler from the linebacker from Canadian. Interesting. I like it. I think it's a good pick. And in 2A, the offensive player of the year. Did they not name an offensive player of the year? Oh boy. Oh, here it is. Rashad Paul.
Yeah.
Duh. And their defensive player of the year, Kobe Herring from Refugio. So we'll post these all on TexasFootball.com. I'll probably write up a little bit piece about it.
Any major snubs that come to mind?
You know, the good thing about the TSWA is that they do put out 3 teams. And so I can argue about this kid should have been first team instead of second team.
Right.
But overall, the only one that really jumped out at me was Hiller. That was the only one that I was like, okay, that's an all-state guy.
Right.
You should have found a way to put him on that team.
I think that's fair.
But the problem is, and what I respect about the TSWA All-State team is that they take into account the complete season, not only with the playoffs, but also they want to get kids in from.
Yeah.
It's real easy from different parts of the state.
Yeah.
It is real easy to leave a guy like Quay Gray from Lubbock Coronado off an All-State team. It's real easy.
Right.
Okay, but Quay Gray was incredible. He deserves to be an All-State team, and they had him as co-second team All-State team. That's great. That's what I really respect about them is that they do have a regional balance, and there is a thoughtfulness to what they're doing. So check that out. We'll put it up on TexasFootball.com today.